Hello and welcome back to Swinging at Shins, usually a Premier League podcast, but currently a World Cup podcast. I am Rhett Conaway, and I am joined, as always, by Aaron Slater. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I can't really complain. I predicted this final, so I think I'm doing okay.
I was going to say, congratulations are in order, and you're being a bit modest. I'd be doing pretty good if I predicted this final.
Yeah, that was total BS. I got to be honest. I had good feelings with Argentina. France was just like, I don't see where there's a downfall in France. But yeah, I just kind of rolled the dice on that one.
I mean, in fairness, you always have a soft spot for Argentina.
Yes, I do.
But it worked out for you this time. Excuse me. Still getting over something, guys. Anyway, let's go with the first match of the semifinals, Argentina versus Croatia. 3-0 to Argentina.
That is what happened.
It is Messi with a pen, Julian Alvarez with a brace. Tell me what you saw out there.
I saw a really good Argentina team feel out Croatia for the first 20 minutes and then absolutely turn the Jets on after that. They were feeling them out, essentially. And then they were breaking down that Croatia team really, really well. And it was only a matter of time whether it would have been Messi's PK or, a goal from open play or something like that. But, it took Julian Alvarez getting fouled in the box with – he was a menace, by the way, today. He could have had a hat trick today, really, but the goalkeeper for Croatia absolutely mauled him.
Yeah, I was going to say, your notes ask, is that a PK? How could it not be, is my answer.
It's fair. I was just making more of a point of is there any type of leeway that goalkeeper could have had handed, but if he
went for more of the ball. I really think it's that simple.
Yeah, no,
he ended up nowhere near the ball.
Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful chip too, like the touch he had, the chip over the goalkeeper. Well, not over the goalkeeper, through the goalkeeper, really, and then just absolutely going to get bundled.
Yeah, this isn't hockey. It's not the crease. You don't just get to own all of it if you're the goalie. And that's what happens. I thought it was a very obvious penalty the second it happened.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how good Julian Alvarez was. When he scored his second, I thought it was his third. Like, that's how good he was when I was watching him. I was just like, man, Julian Alvarez gets a hat trick. No, wait a minute. 3, and one of them is a PK. Okay. So he hasn't yet. But, yeah, he looked amazing. We were talking about in the predictions, you had brought up, can someone else other than Alvarez and Messi score? If they're both going to play this well, does anyone else need to?
No, I think they just need to play defense, control the midfield and play defense, and then they're good to go.
Yeah, I thought they did well defensively against Croatia. There's not that turnoff that we've been seeing. The Argentina's had. They had it against the Dutch. They just seem to turn off towards the end of games and then make it a little closer than they need to. That didn't happen.
Not really. I would say they came out a little slow in the start of the second half. There was a little bit of sloppy passes and some sloppy play that they got away with. But, I think they'll button that up facing France next Sunday.
Argentina's a very scary team because they're one of those teams that have only gotten better every single match throughout the tournament. You see in tournaments, and our American listeners see this all the time in baseball and hockey and basketball and football, where we have playoffs. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are in the regular season. You haven't won anything until you win the playoffs in America, which also drives us crazy, but it's something we're used to. Baseball, this happens a lot. You see a team that is good and they get to the playoffs and then they scrape through the first round and then they get better in the second round and then they get better in the third round. And by the end of it, you're like, they're playing the best that they've played. And Argentina, I think, done that. I brought that up where, they've shown that they can win poorly. What happens when they can win well? And in the semifinals against Croatia, they showed what they can do. And, I mean, Messi, especially that final goal, it's a Julian Alvarez goal, and he was a menace. But there is never, that's a Messi goal. He made that happen. He made everything happen.
What do you want Grimaldi to do? He did literally everything.
You got to foul him before he gets in the box.
Yeah, I mean, he literally, outside of that, did everything right.
And you can't just foul him outside the box all the time, because now you're giving away free kicks to Messi just outside the box, and you're going to start getting carded.
Yep.
So you have to commit to the foul very early.
Yeah.
And you have to do it not that many times.
There's nothing you could do about that play. It was just vintage.
Yep.
It was gorgeous.
It looks like the ball's glued to the end of his foot.
God, yeah.
Until it's not. And he's always looking to make the extra pass. He'll take the shot if he can, but he always is just
heads up all the time.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Well, it's the reason why, I personally right now, and of course, I'm as old as I am, which isn't that old at all. I have a hard time imagining that there's ever been a player who's better.
Not in our lifetime.
There are players who are very good.
Yeah.
And the game, I mean, the other problem is the game's changed quite a lot.
Yes.
But for him to be able to do everything he does.
Yep.
That Mexican goal still sticks out for me. Where he was just like, screw it, I'll score myself.
Yeah. It was nonchalant score.
The PKs, and I think the PKs are even more impressive because he missed 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Not missed, had them saved. But he had 2 in a row saved, and now he's just putting in bangers.
Confidence is back in that. So, I don't see Argentina letting up. And even if, they aren't getting it from Alvarez, they can certainly get it from somewhere else. I mean, we haven't even talked about their bench. Their bench is ridiculous still. And I think it's a better bench than France, who, spoiler alert, in case you haven't found this out, France and Argentina are going to the final. We did spoil that actually 5 minutes into this.
I thought you were going to say, spoiler alert, France doesn't use their bench, which is pretty much true.
But even at that rate, they have Lisandro Martinez, defender. Ezequiel Palacio, I'm pronouncing that wrong, sorry, coming off the bench. Pablo Dybala, Angel Correa, Di Maria hasn't even played. Lautaro Martinez they have on the bench. They have Thiago Almada, who's the MLS player from Atlanta, or is he LAFC or one of those 2 big clubs?
Fat Mob says you had it right, Atlanta.
There you go.
He is the first MLS player to reach the World Cup final. So
awesome.
MLS moving on up. I mean, he reached it on the bench, but he's still there, and we're not. So I'm not going to take that away from him.
He gets participation points.
He's wearing the blue and white of Argentina. He gets whatever he wants. That's the way it works.
He gets to sit next to Messi. Not on the bus, anyway.
One thing I think is interesting, we're going to bring this up when we talk stats, especially the French match. But both Argentina and France won today and yesterday. But what I'm getting at is they both won with 39% possession.
I noticed
someone's going to have to hold on to the ball in the match, guys.
Especially in the France match, and I'm just going to tip this a little bit, that France really, once they got that lead, put 11 men behind that ball. I mean, they had Giroud even playing defense. It was just what they're doing now is just, you score and you suck in the other team and then you counter over top of them.
Yep, and I think that's what's very important. They did at times have 11 people behind the ball, but we may be on to France now, guys. But they counter so well and so fast. And they will also commit men to the counter. They're not trying to counter with 2 guys.
No, there's always 3, 4 with them. Like with that Alvarez goal, the first one that he scored, he had Molina running in front of him or on his right, and then I don't know who was on his left, but Molina made that smart run where he kind of like cut in front of Alvarez and then dragged kind of the trailing defender out of position so Alvarez can take that other spot. It was really, really magnificent, that movement of play right there. And it was even better, the score too. The fact that it was a clumsy score and it was an unlucky score against Croatia, but you still had to put it in, and he made it look gorgeous.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing that I felt was hard done to any team, was him scoring that. Someone posted on the FIFA subreddit, "Come on, FIFA, fix your game. The scripting is out of control," and it was then a highlight of that play.
Yeah.
It was like no matter what happened, he was going to score.
Yeah.
It dinked off 2 Croatian defenders, but the follow through, the men were up front. It was a goal that Croatia deserved, and much like the second French goal that we're going to talk about, it's a bad way to give up a goal, but you probably should have already let up another goal anyway. So,
yeah, well, I don't know. I think Argentina's going to be okay against France, really.
Well,
that's for another time.
Anyway, we've been talking about both game matches, but now let's focus in on France and Morocco. If I remember correctly, Theo Hernandez has now scored the quickest goal in semifinal history.
Oh, good for him.
Against a team that had not let in a goal all tournament. So, goes to show you cannot predict this game.
That was a choppy play too. I mean, I felt bad for Morocco on that one. Like, I guess there's a little bit of pre-lead up to that too. Like, if I don't know who stepped out to attack the ball from Griezmann, but if he had actually just contained Griezmann, he probably would have been okay. And none of this happens, except he attacked the ball. Griezmann takes that space and then advances, and Mbappe. Was it Mbappe got the shot off?
I know Mbappe got the second shot off. I was kind of going back and forth.
I think it was Mbappe got the shot off on that one, and it took a nasty deflection. That one.
Again, you say hard pressed and hard done by, and I say that's what you do as an attacking team.
Yeah, well, yes.
Someone should have been covering Hernandez,
especially with 5 defenders.
And he found an open spot and waited for the rebound, and then got the rebound. Someone should have been covering Hernandez. One thing, Morocco has been fantastic defensively. We've talked about how good they've been defensively. I don't know how much I trust FotMob with formations. We've talked about this. We will continue to talk about this till the end of time, or until it somehow gets fixed. But they have Morocco in a 5-4-1.
Man.
We were talking about the unit that Morocco defends as. Every single time France got the ball deep, I saw like 2 or 3 guys immediately attack the ball handler.
Mm-hmm.
And that created space. I mean, Giroud should have had a goal very close to halftime where he just ended up he didn't realize how much space he had. He had plenty of time to take a touch, turn around, and put it wherever he wanted, and he tried to one-time it instead, and he still almost scored.
Yeah.
There was nobody around him. Nobody was covering Hernandez. On the second goal, nobody was covering Muani. They all latched on to Mbappe, especially on the second one. They all latched onto him.
Yeah, there was 4 defenders on him, but there was still a guy at the back post. It was just – it landed right at what was his name again? Muani's feet.
Still, they were getting sucked in. They were – it was almost like once someone got that close, they didn't know how to handle it.
I think that's the problem with being scored on first as well. Like, now you have to attack the ball to get it back to go attack again. I think it was –
yeah, I agree.
It went against their game plan that they've done this whole entire tournament.
Well, and I give them credit because I predicted if they scored first that France was going to score 3 or 4 because I thought it was going to open them up a lot. And it didn't. And Morocco had a lot of really good chances towards the end of the first half, I thought.
Yeah.
They had that bicycle kick that Lloris just got to.
Yeah. And Ziyech, was it Ziyech or another player? I can't remember. Had that curler, right-footed curler that Hugo Lloris just fingertips saved out. Like they had good quality shots. In fact, I think that they're going to be a scary team coming up again. When in their African Cup of Nations and maybe World Cup next time as well.
Yeah, we'll see. We didn't really talk that much about the Moroccan team because we didn't know that much about it. I don't know how old a lot of these guys are. And I think the other question is going to be, do they hold on to their coach?
I certainly would if you could.
He is Moroccan. So I imagine if your national team says, hey, coach for us, you usually say yes.
They'll at least have Naziri. They'll have Hakimi, Ziyech, and Nezeri. They're all young players.
Well, Ziyech is 29, so it'll be 33.
And Banu. Or you say Banu?
Bonu's 31, but he's a goalkeeper. I can see him being fine at 34.
Yeah.
Mazraoui is 25. He'll be fine.
Amrabat
24. He'll be fine.
This team's young.
Ziyech is 29.
He'll be fine.
So it's going to depend how he ages. He's a right mid. His game is a lot of movement. If he ages like Messi, then he'll be absolutely fine.
And by no means are we comparing him to Messi, but we're just saying talent-based.
Yeah. And Nezri is 25. Amrabat's 26.
They have a decently young squad. They'll be okay.
Very good for a long time. I could totally see that.
Yeah. I was a little confused on the fact that what the coach had did. He subbed off Nezeri and somebody else came off at that moment too. In the 66th minute, Buffal, both came off, and I was like, "You're down 1-0, and you're subbing off attacking players." I don't know these players, so I can't exactly say, it's a like for like, but I highly doubt it. It's got to be legs for legs.
Yeah, like you said, they did seem to start looking gassed.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think Morocco should be commended for, they lost Aguerd, one of their center backs, before the match even started. 21 minutes into the match, they lose Sassy.
Yep.
And then at halftime, they lose Mazraoui.
Yep.
So that's 3 of their defenders gone against what I consider to be the most well-rounded attack in the World Cup. Maybe not the best, but the most well-rounded.
Yeah, I agree.
The fact that they only led up 2, I think is very, very impressive.
Yeah. They deserve a pat on the back or a high five or, a standing O for their and those are totally different levels of appreciation too, but they deserve all of it for getting this far, for being the darkest horse that has ever come out of this entire tournament.
Well, and this is I didn't expect him to be here. No one expected him to be here. I don't think Samuel Eto'o actually expected them to be here. But nobody expected them to be here. So that's one thing. However, it's the semifinals of the World Cup. Everyone deserves all the standing ovations of any kind to be here. Germany didn't make it out of the group. Germany. This is not easy. There are not teams that take this for granted. Brazil's out in the quarterfinals again. Brazil hasn't made a semifinals. In fact, Brazil's best finish in the World Cup in the last 20 years is a 7-1 drubbing by Germany in the semifinals in 2014.
Ouchie.
Sure that's
they're
Brazil.
Just getting over that too, so you had to go and remind them.
Oh, yeah. I will for a long time. I don't understand. People should have never played soccer again after that. I don't understand what happened.
No, everyone should have been fired and pack your bags, go home.
You know, England, when England made the semifinals in 2018, that was the only time they've gotten that far since they won the whole thing in '66. There's no sure thing. This is not the AFC Championship game in the 2010s when you know it's going to be played in Foxborough, and who am I going to play against?
Or Lucas Oil.
No one makes the semifinals year after year or World Cup after World Cup guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know, it's very impressive that France has been able to do it again.
This is true.
It's very impressive that Croatia's been able to do it again.
Especially how drained of attack they were.
I think Argentina went out in the quarterfinals of 2018.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Quarterfinals or round of... No, it was round of 16 because I had France.
Well, yeah, that'll do it.
This is hard. This is hard to do. So we can talk about Morocco being, you know, the dark horse that no one expected to be here, but you guys made the semifinals of the World Cup. That alone is good enough. We're both wearing our American Outlaw shirts. I would probably kill a man just to see the U.S. get to the semifinals.
Oh, God, yeah. Are you kidding me? I do some very naughty stuff.
So hats off to you, Morocco. We made the mistake of you not being on our radar, but we're never going to do that again.
Nope.
Also, fun team to watch.
Yes. Even when they were down, they always seemed to try to claw back. Like, it was a very open-ended game.
It was. France is just too good, though. They just are.
I wanted to believe in the Cinderella. If I had to be honest. I missed the train way in the beginning, and I thought if I could hop on her dress at that point, but
yep. All right. Anything else you want to go over the semifinals? It's nice when there's only 2 matches.
I know. I don't know what to do with all this time. I thought Argentina looked good defensively, and I thought they swarmed the ball really well. I think that's going to be a problem for France. And France, as long as Hugo Lloris stands on his head, I think they'll be okay. Because he was on his head. I mean, he made some incredible saves.
True. But as long as Emi Martinez stands on his head,
well, that's
Argentina will be okay. So
no, that's it. That's
go either way. Go either way.
That's guaranteed. All
right. Well, this has been a quicker episode of Swinging at Shins than we normally do. Like I said at the top, we are normally a Premier League podcast. When the World Cup is over, we will still be doing stuff with the Premier League. It's Boxing Day, which to all of our American viewers is the day after Christmas. Premier League comes back. I will be at Wolf's Beer Garden. You will be at Wolf's Beer Garden. I'll drag you there if I have to.
No, you don't have to drag me. It's okay.
We have a YouTube channel. We have a Spotify. We have Apple Music. If there's anywhere else that you would want us to be, please let me know and I can make that happen. We are under the umbrella of Wicked Good Sports, which is its own entity. They have a YouTube channel and the same thing I listed, Spotify and Apple Music. All the links are in the description below. They cover everything over there. They got the Bruins, they got the Dolphins, the Saints, the Celtics. Celtics video just went live today. Don't panic. Celtics turned it around. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are averaging together 57 points a game. They're pretty good.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's actually historically good if they can keep it up.
That's impressive.
And then Aaron does the Villa, and you get no bonus points for guessing which team that covers. And I do the Way West Stand, which covers the Arsenal. Apart from that, if you were in the capital region of New York and an Arsenal fan, I have put together the Albany Gooners. We are currently unofficial, but hopefully official very soon for Arsenal America. If you don't like Arsenal, but you still like watching soccer, go to Wolf's Beer Gardens, where we normally are whenever soccer's on. We will definitely be there Sunday for the finals.
Yes, sir.
They have plenty of room. They're spilling over into the location next to them. You guys got to come see it. It's special. Apart from that, I think we are all set.
As far as I know.
Everyone, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you guys hanging around here with us. If you enjoyed these clips, go check us out on Wicked Good Sports, where we have all kinds of soccer coverage, as well as our main podcast here, Swinging at Shins. You can find the links in the description below.